Hawthorn is one of Britain's ancient native trees. Steeped in folklore and an important host for hundreds of different species of wildlife, the hawthorn or the May tree has also long been considered a staple food and medicine source for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The leaves, flowers and the fruits of hawthorn are all edible. So the flowers are really pretty. They've got 5 white petals that are sometimes tinged with pink, and the flowers can be made into teas, tinctures, cordials and even puddings. Later on in the video I'm going to be showing you how to make a hawthorn brandy and also a hawthorn flower syrup as well. The young leaves start to emerge from very spiky bare branches in late March, and the tree's often in full leaf by late April. The leaves are shiny and they've got a pretty distinct shape. They have between 3, 5 and 7 pairs of lobes, and the young spring leaves are super tasty. I think they've got a taste somewhat reminiscent to apple skin, though I've seen many people say they have a flavour that's quite nutty. The leaves can be added to salads or cooked as greens, and they can be dried and made into a tea as well. The buds were used to make a suet pudding, so a pie crust was rolled out and then dotted with buds and bacon, and then it was rolled up, sealed and steamed for about an hour to make a traditional hawthorn suet pudding. So an old English nickname for this is bread and cheese, and not because they particularly taste like either of those things, but because it's in reference to the leaves and the flowers. The leaves said to be the bread and the flowers said to be the cheese. But my nan did tell me about how she used to be sent off onto her walks with a piece of bread with dripping on it to make her own boiled sandwiches. So whether that's where the saying comes from, I'm not too sure, but I do love to learn about localised plant names and where they all come from. Hawthorn grows pretty much everywhere, and it's often planted up as a hedge because it's pretty impenetrable. It's got really thick spiked branches that almost nothing can get through without a fight. And actually the thorns of hawthorn can cause pretty nasty infections. The human synovial tissue is super susceptible to organic matter like the blackthorn and the hawthorn. So if you do get a piece in your skin, it's really important to get it out straight away because it can cause something pretty nasty. And it's probably for this reason that hawthorn is a favourite amongst small nesting birds, because it keeps them safe from any predators. So the flowers of hawthorn can be pretty changeable depending on how long they've been open for. At first the scent can be quite sweet and florally vanilla, and then it can change to be rather unpleasant and sometimes fade in to have no scent at all. And this particular hawthorny smell is actually down to the release of trimethylamine, which is one of the first chemicals produced by a decomposing body, and it's thought that this is what makes the flowers so irresistible to pollinators. This is likely the root of many of the more sombre myths and legends of the hawthorn. It's said that cutting a tree down in its entirety would bring about instant death, the reason why you often see a lonely hawthorn tree standing in the middle of a farmer's field, and also the reason why an entire motorway was rerouted in Ireland just 25 years ago. To those superstitious, hawthorn blossoms were generally banished in homes in some parts of England. At a time when plants like rosemary and lavender were helpful herbs for warding off the plague, hawthorn was seen as a possible transmitter. In Celtic countries, hawthorn is connected with the fairies, and it's said that if you fall asleep under a hawthorn tree, you'll be whisked away and taken to the underworld. Probably not a great idea. I've got a hammock underneath my hawthorn. It's not all doom and gloom for the hawthorn though. It's a tree that's often associated with love and fertility as well, and an important tree for Beltane and May Day celebrations. The original maypole was actually a hawthorn tree that used to be stripped of its branches, and young women used to wear flower crowns of hawthorn blossom in their hair in hope to attract a partner. This association with love and fertility may again be down to the trimethylamine, which is also released in our sweat and in our reproductive fluids. Is that the nicest way to say that? So yeah, not only is the smell that of death, but also strangely that of sex. When we're harvesting hawthorn, we want to be making sure the flowers have got a really nice scent. So these are the ones that have usually got the really lovely floral kind of vanilla scent to them, and they're the ones that taste the sweetest as well. So I'm just picking off little clusters of these, and I'm taking some of the leaves as well because they're also really medicinal. Hawthorn is an amazing tree for the heart, and you can make lots of different tonics and tinctures from the flowers and the berries as well. And I'm harvesting these flowers today to make the start of my double infused brandy, and that is a little tincture that I make with the flowers to start off with, and I infuse those in some brandy for a few months until the berries are ready from the tree, and then I'll pour that liquid back over the berries to double infuse it and make a really, really potent heart tonic. Hawthorn's been shown to increase the heart muscle's ability to contract while also relaxing the blood vessels, meaning the heart can pump better and has less resistance to pump against. This helps to reduce high blood pressure and raise low blood pressure. Hawthorn also relaxes the muscles of the coronary artery walls and allows more blood flow into the cells of the heart. This means that more nutrients and oxygen is delivered into the heart, and it means that waste products are removed more efficiently as well. So it's these little clusters here that I'm looking for, the ones that have got a few unopened buds and that still got the pink stamens. Right, so I've got my little basket of Hawthorn blossom and a few leaves in there as well, and I'm going to be making the first stage of my double infused Hawthorn flower brandy, and it's really just literally as simple as picking off all of the flowers and chucking a few leaves in there as well, filling up the jar and then topping that off with brandy. It's such a beautiful sunny day to be doing this. It's really quite therapeutic, just plucking flowers. You feel like a bit of a child. It's really, really nice. Going to pop some of these leaves in there as well. So as I said, hawthorn's amazing for the heart, and not just that, but it's really, really good for soothing anxiety, and it helps with grief as well. So if you're feeling a bit low, then hawthorn is your best friend. And luckily you can use it all year. You've got the flowers in spring, you've got the leaves all summer, and then you've got the lovely berries autumn through winter as well. So it's a really abundant tree and you can find it pretty much everywhere. Like I say, it's often grown as a hedge, and you can find it in woodlands as well, in farmers' fields, in parks and gardens. I've got a couple here on my allotment that are beautiful. But yeah, they're a very diverse tree, and you can find them in all shapes and sizes. You can find white ones, pink ones, ones that have just got slightly tinged pink flowers on them like this, and then you can find some varieties that are a much deeper pink. So I'm going to be popping all of these in here. I might add a few little clusters in there as well. So now that's completely full to the top, I'm now going to top this up with some brandy. And I need to make sure that all of the flowers and all of the leaves are fully submerged. And I'm also going to add in a little dollop of honey as well. That is totally optional. You can add in honey, you can add in sugar, you can add in nothing if you prefer it, but I like a bit of a sweeter tincture. So yeah, that is that done. So that is the first stage of the Hawthorn brandy ready, and I'm just going to be letting this infuse for a couple of months until the berries are ripe and ready to pick, and then I'm going to be straining this off, pouring the liquid back over the berries, and then letting that infuse for another few months just to make a really strong double potent medicine. It's so important to leave lots of flowers when gathering your food or medicine. The humble hawthorn supports over 300 species of wildlife, from beetles and bugs to caterpillars, moths and butterflies, as well as the many animals that come to feed from these insects too. Come late summer, the flowers turn into beautiful red berries. Aside from the many health benefits to the heart, hawthorn are also anti-inflammatory and help to aid digestion, particularly the berries, as they're packed full of fibre and antioxidants. Each autumn I love to preserve their powers into a sweet syrup that I use to make my seasonal drinks and cocktails throughout the rest of the year. Gathering some ripe berries from my tree, I add a bit of sugar, water, some slices of ginger or lemon, or some hogweed seeds, whatever I have on hand really, and just heat these together very slowly and gently until all of the sugar has dissolved. After straining the syrup and removing the large hawthorn seeds, I add the leftover fruit to my smoothies, cookies or flapjack mixes.